News 15 investigates, uncovers friendly fire is to blame for the death of Lafayette Senior Corporal Sejas Jolivet. New tonight at 6 o'clock. What this means for the case against the suspect at the center of the deadly standoff.
You're watching News 15 at 6. Honored as the state's best newscast by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Good evening and thank you for choosing News 15 tonight at 6. I'm Jim Hummel.
And I'm Marcel Fontenot. We begin tonight with new information in the death of Lafayette Police Senior Corporal Sejas Jolivet. News 15 Investigates has uncovered Jolivet was killed by friendly fire.
Jolivet, an 11-year veteran of the force, died in the line of duty during a SWAT standoff 2 weeks ago today when law enforcement descended on a home in Jeanerette where two people were held hostage. So how will this news impact the case against the standoff suspect who police say put that deadly day into motion? News 15's Jeff Horchak joins us live in studio with the details. And Jeff, what did we find out?
Jim and Marcel, Corporal Jolivet's death is a community tragedy. The question many across Acadiana are asking tonight is why did this happen? There are two factors emerging so far: friendly fire and a four-time felon. It was a tragedy in the making. An hours-long standoff with an armed suspect turns into a hostage situation that ends in gunfire. The two hostages are safely rescued and the suspect taken into custody on multiple arrest warrants.
This is the last call for 411, Senior Corporal Sejas Jolivet.
But in the process, Lafayette SWAT officer Corporal Sejas Jolivet is shot and killed. Several others grazed and wounded. Lafayette police saying in a statement at the time, quote, during the operation, the suspect fired multiple shots at law enforcement. However, News 15 Investigates has learned from multiple law enforcement and government sources that Corporal Jolivet actually died from what's known as friendly fire. News 15 Investigates just spoke with state police within the past hour, and they tell us that their investigators are working diligently to examine all the evidence and facts of this incident. Now tonight, LSP says the investigation into this tragedy remains, quote, active and ongoing. Live in studio for News 15 Investigates, I'm Jeff Horchak.
All right, Jeff, thanks. We are following developing news on the crime watch out of St. Landry Parish. That's where a 19-year-old was shot at the corner of Saison Avenue and Park Street in Port Barre. He is hospitalized in stable condition right now with a gunshot wound to the neck. You're looking at the scene of the shooting there. Detectives say they found multiple spent bullet casings from a handgun at the scene. No arrests have been made. If you have any information, though, contact Port Barre Police.
Water is now safe to drink in parts of North Lafayette Parish. A boil water advisory in that area has been lifted. Officials say a water line break here on Benoit Road was to blame. The advisory affected entire Lafayette Parish Water District North. Repairs were mostly completed the same day, but the boil order remained in effect and still state tests cleared the water from contamination.
Now to a Storm Track 15 alert for excessive heat. It is the 11th straight day of heat advisories in Acadiana. And
also the third straight day officially of triple digits, right, Dan?
Yeah, that is correct. Now there is a little bit of, we'll call it a glimmer of hope. We have the heat advisory in place until 7 o'clock tonight. Usually by this time, we have one already issued for tomorrow. That's not the case. And you might be asking why. Well, if you're not, I'm going to give you an answer anyway. We are looking at slightly drier air moving into the picture. So although it's going to remain hot, heat indices will be a little bit lower tomorrow, and they could be lower, they'll likely be lower than the heat advisory threshold, which is roughly 108 degrees. Because as we step outside right now, take a look at the Hub City Tower Cam, mostly sunny skies, 98 degrees, but you factor in that dew point is 74, and it feels like 109. If we lower this figure enough, it gets below 109 degrees, then we're below that heat advisory threshold. That's what we're looking at. Nonetheless, temperatures still remain sky high. Temps well up into the 90s all across the region, 93 in Opelousas, but 99 degrees in Breaux Bridge at the moment. Doppler radar, pretty quiet here across South Louisiana, but we're still keeping a close eye on what is now Tropical Depression Debbie as it continues its march up to the north, moving through the Mid-Atlantic and New England later tomorrow, but there's also another system we're monitoring in the Atlantic Ocean. We'll talk about both of those systems as well as the heat and slightly drier air back here. That's all coming up here in a bit. Send it back to you guys at the desk.
And in the midst of all this heat, why do students have to go back to school this early in the summer? Well, it's a question we've asked Lafayette Parish School Board. Their answer coming up next. You're watching News 15 tonight at 6 o'clock.